less than 4.7, multiplying decimals. We've done a lot of practice before on how to multiply the decimals and do the 100 times a tenths. Let's really start rocking this. So we have here the essential question. What strategies can you use to place the decimal in the product? Well, we can make our connection back to 1 times 1/10 is 1/10. 1/10 times 1/10, or so a tenth times a tenth is 100th. 100 times a tenth is 1,000. Notice how many I have. I have 1 decimal, 2 decimals, so I move my decimal back in 2. Here I have to move it 1, 2 to get rid of it. I move it 3, so I got to move it back in 3. So that'll make a little more sense when we do some of these problems of multiplying. Multiply as a whole number. So this is my way of multiplying decimals. I think of the decimal as a whole number. So when I look at this, I think of it as 15 times 28. That's how I start off, 15 times 28. And then I multiply it just like I would before. Then I go back and I think about, okay, I have a tenth times a tenth. A tenth times a tenth is 100th. So that means I have to move my decimal in until I get to the hundreds. Tenths, hundredths. My answer is 4.4 and 2/10. So the value of my decimals is 100th. Oh, not 10, 100th. So I know it's 4 and 20 hundredths, or so. Here's just an easier way of doing it, guys. I don't know if they're showing us this, but we can think of it as 78 times 312, and I'm just going to multiply that like I really would. So it's 16, 9, 24, a 0 in the ones place to hold it, 14, 8, 21, 6, 13, 4, 2. So my answer is 24,336. So this is what I do. I got to get rid of the decimals. So put them where they're at. I'm going to get rid of them to make a whole number. 1, 2, it kicked out 2 to get it out here. I kicked this one out 1. If I add those together, that's 3. That means I got to kick it back in 3. 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 24 and 336 thousandths. I just think this is the easiest way because I think you understand a tenth times a tenth is 100th. So we're going back to what I think is so important. Estimating first. Look at this as a whole number. It's a 7. Look at this as a whole number. It's a 1 because the 2 is going to tell the 1 to stay the same. The 8 is going to tell the 7 to go up. So if I multiply these, 7 times 1 is 7. So that's my estimate. So what I want you to do is first I want you to estimate, and then I want you to figure it. So let's go back to this one and let's figure this one just about the moving of the decimal to see if that helps one more time. So if we have it here, I got to get rid of the decimal. 1, 2 out, 3 because that one going out once. So whatever I take it out, I got to take the decimal back in. 1, 2, 3. I have 5 and 68 thousandths. And if I think about this, guys, 100th times a tenth is 1,000. So it works both ways to think of it that way. It just makes it. So here I have a tenth, 1 out, 2 out. A tenth times a tenth is 100th. I move it back in. 1, 2. I got to have it right here. If you don't understand that concept, please come talk to me. So let's do all of these, please. Estimate first. I want to see your estimating. Then on your own, let's do the evens. on this page. We'll skip that page and come back to it. We're back to the evens again. And our same old story in all of these. So we're just really practicing multiplying and then making sure our decimal's in. Go deeper if you have time.